Josh, can you believe we have been doing this podcast for almost 6 years?
Lauren, seriously? It only feels like, 20, 30?
More like 50, am I right?
Definitely 50. Definitely 50.
Well, in anticipation of our 6th anniversary happening this February, we actually want to hear from you, our audience.
That is right. We're officially plugging and pushing the Creator Upload Survey. It's here. It's happening.
For the first time ever, we are interested in something other than ourselves. In partnership with Deep Water Strategies, who put this together for us, thank you very much, we want to learn about you.
It's truly historic. Please head to bit.ly/creator upload survey. That's bit.ly/creator upload survey and tell us all the things.
What you want more of, me. What you want less of, Josh. And everything in between.
We'll be talking a lot about it, so just go to bit.ly/creator upload survey and make our lives way easier.
Exactly. Thanks for being with us all these years. Now go fill out the survey. bit.ly/creator upload survey. That's bit.ly/creator upload survey. Welcome to Creator Upload, your creator economy podcast. I'm Lauren Schnipper.
And I'm Joshua Cohen. Lauren.
Happy almost Thanksgiving, Joshua.
Happy almost Thanksgiving. What are you making this year?
So here's the deal. I'm going to my parents' house in Florida and I am cooking everything. And I had wanted to get this turkey pre-made. I don't love making the turkey. Like I've done, but I've done it in LA the last few years. I couldn't get my LA. I technically could have. I was this close to ordering the turkey from LA and I stopped myself because even I recognize how ridiculous that was. I was like, it probably started on the East Coast to go to the West Coast and come back. I was like, that is even a ridiculous carbon footprint for me. So I was like, fine, I'm going to make the turkey. So my mother goes out and she buys this 25-pound butterball. It's already in the thing. And then and I like to brine a turkey. And now she's texting me that you can't brine a butterball because apparently a butterball is pre-brined. I mean, I'm brining the butterball.
Please don't make this a Seinfeld episode.
This is my life.
I know you're trying to make this a Seinfeld episode. Please don't make this a Seinfeld episode.
I mean, I'm brining. So I was looking, and apparently you should just use like half the amount of salt because it's already pre-salted. But like, ew, like who has? I didn't know that a butterball was I didn't know. Did you know this about a butterball?
I'm not engaging with this conversation anymore. I'm going to tell you what I'm making for Thanksgiving.
Wow.
Which is cranberry applesauce. Which is fantastic.
Homemade cranberry sauce is so easy. It's
so
good.
But cranberry applesauce is a new twist on the traditional cranberry sauce.
Are you putting chunks of apples in it and you're just
totally? It's from BuzzFeed when Thanksgiving and Hanukkah were on the same time frame.
No, my friend still makes the what did they have? The kugel with like sweet potato kugel. I have a friend who
so good. The Thanksgiving recipe list and menu from BuzzFeed might be their best reporting.
No, I'm telling you, I have a friend that still makes that. Yeah, no, I get it. But why is that? Oh, because the apple. No, apples is Rosh Hashanah. Why is that? That's not really.
Apples are kind of Jewish.
Okay, they are. I mean, okay.
And then what's not kind of Jewish, I might be making some fried turkey wings as well. I've always wanted to do this.
I've always wanted. I mean, a fried turkey is something that I'm interested in, but you got to get a whole contraption. You know what I mean? So,
I know, but not for the wings.
No, not for the wings.
You're just doing the wings.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I mean, I'm making the whole thing. I mean, I have a whole menu, a whole spread. So I'm excited about it.
Are you brining it or not?
I'm going to brine. I'm going to brine. You asked, you opened that door and I walked right in it. And you know what I think I'm going to do? This is controversial. I think I'm going to spatchcock it.
Fascinating. We're excited to hear how that
I am excited.
turns out
I think I'm going to
next installment post Thanksgiving of Creator Upload.
I'm going to spatchcock the turkey. You just wait and see. All right. Well, one thing I want to talk about really quickly is there was an article in the New York Times called "The Screen That Ate Your Child's Education." And it's like indirectly but directly related to this, but I just found it so fascinating. Basically, it's by Jean M. Tweng of the New York Tweng, I'm not sure how you say it, in the New York Times. And the whole thing is just fascinating. Basically, it's talking about effectively EdTech companies have convinced educators that like screens are necessary for learning now. And it came out of COVID. Obviously, a lot of screens were implemented then, and they saw an opportunity, evidently, if you're looking at this cynically. But the issue is that standardized test scores of American students had been rising for decades. Then they began to slide, dropping to their lowest point in 2 decades in 23 and 24. Basically, it is categorically data proven that screens are not helping these kids at all. And like my kids are still in elementary school, but you have these screens in high school and even college, and people are not paying attention. And schools are not necessarily blocking things like YouTube because they want to show videos that are maybe educational on YouTube so they can't block the site. And it's like people are not watching it. And it's like, I mean, obviously everybody's talking about phones in schools and everybody I think kind of agrees that's not a good thing. But it turns out like you're on your screens. Like I was talking to a friend of mine who has like an 8th grader and she was like, yeah, they can't have phones at school, but they have Chromebooks and they all have messaging on their Chromebooks. So they're messaging each other all day. And so it's like, and I just think to me, the urgency in this is so critical because of like AI. If we don't get these kids to start writing by hand, they 100% are going to be just like doing their essays off of ChatGPT. And like, how are you going to be able to tell? So I almost feel like because of AI, perhaps changes are going to be coming. There's countries like I think it was Sweden or was it Finland? Don't come at me. Maybe it was Sweden or was it Finland? One of those countries which had gone super hardcore into tech has actually completely wiped it out and just been like, we made a mistake. We're taking it all out of the classroom. I don't know. I feel like this is just a call to action and just kind of terrifying if you read the data. And so I just wanted to bring it up because
that's a super compelling argument. My kids take Chromebooks to school and then they bring them home. They have to charge them at home or else they get in trouble if they don't charge them at home. They're allowed a few like uncharged days.
Sure.
And then some not great stuff happens. But so when they are doing their work at home, they'll do their homework on the Chromebook and they'll submit it. And if left to their own devices, I'm not saying all the time, but some of the time, they then wander into like a pirated version of Roblox that they can access through Google Chrome.
Wouldn't you? I mean, if you were a kid, of course
totally,
you would do
100%. So I can definitely see how it's just a distraction mechanism. And regardless of the kind of speed bumps and roadblocks that administrators, parents, and more try to put up, these kids are going to find the littlest things that is going to intrigue them.
Dude,
my 10-year-old has one friend who has a phone and has no apps on the phone. It's just for calling and messaging.
Sure.
But it does have a clock on the phone.
Okay.
And the clock has a timer.
Okay.
And so he will look at this timer and they'll try to stop it at a specific time.
Yeah.
They'll try to they will get creative with the timer game.
They'll gamify anything. Yeah.
Totally. But they're more likely to gamify anything that's on the screen versus things that aren't on the screen.
Dude, my 3rd grader got in trouble because he was in math and he was bored. So he went and went into another app and he was reading like, and he got into like, he found like, he's like loves Bruno Mars and he found like a Bruno Mars biography and he was reading it. Now, this isn't the most egregious thing he could have done. It's not super inappropriate, but he's not supposed to be doing that in math class.
Totally. My same kid was in an English class and then he's really into Galileo. And so then started reading just like Galileo mathematical computations and then got in trouble for that too.
Yeah, no, totally. No, it's great. And I just feel like, I feel like we all, the thing about this is I just think the people, these school districts, and don't think she hasn't started writing, I'm sending the emails now. Because it's like they need to like reconfigure that. The data is there, that it's not helping. So let's just like figure this out. And I think with AI, it is so urgent that this like be addressed.
Yeah, that makes sense.
These kids are never going to learn how to write a first draft. And I think it is so critical. And I am, I don't know. It's funny. Just like, I just think being close to the world that, being in the world that we're in, I find myself just, I'm educated about it. And I went to a thing the other day and, talking about, mental health for kids. And I was the only person in the room that had read The Anxious Generation by Jonathan Haidt, which talks about how bad phones are. A lot of people were on the page, but now it's like, you think I haven't started a group and we're all me. And it's like, of course, now she's seen it as an opportunity. So anyway, I just thought this was very interesting. Highly recommend reading this. And, that's all I got on that.
I don't want to get into a whole podcast episode about this. We can take this offline, Lauren, or maybe do a different episode. I do think there are some issues with the anxious generation. I think there hasn't been enough looked at like parental activities. So I think, yes, kids are on screens, kids are on phones, on social media, but also parents are on them a lot too when
100%.
They should be interacting with their kids.
100%. There was a great I don't know, cartoon on some Instagram that I follow. I don't know what it was. And it was like a 6-year-old giving his kid a phone being like, and the caption was like, it was nice interacting with you for the last 6 years. Like, give them the phone. 100%. No,
but I think also during those first 6 years, I'm arguing that the parent was probably on the phone for a lot of that time too.
I'm not denying it. I'm not saying it. I mean, we know you're like addicted, so like it's a problem. I mean, I understand that you're speaking from personal experience. 100%. I mean, we put the phones away. I try to do a digital Shabbat. I try to like really, really stay off it, and I'm not perfect by any stretch. 100%.
I get it, but there's this lots of focus on like the kids are not okay, but I think the kids are not okay because lots of parents aren't paying attention.
I get it, Joshua. So let's all do better now that we know
Okay, let's all
better.
do better.
Let's all do better.
Let's
Gil.
all do better.
Okay, great. Okay, before we get to our big story, we've got Rich Bloom on the podcast today. We're doing an interview with him, who's the EVP and GM at Tubi for the Creator Program, and he works on business development overall. And they are making some moves at Tubi, and so they've worked incredibly fast, all things considered. I think he started in like April or something like that, and they have like a ton of creator content coming out with all sorts of deals. So really excited for everybody to hear that interview.
This wonderful installment of Creator Upload is brought to you by Viral Nation. Viral Nation is a leading global social media marketing and creator agency with a social-first approach, powered by its brand-safe technology.
Viral Nation powers global growth for brands like e.l.f. Cosmetics, Audible, A24, MGM Resorts International, Microsoft, Meta, Tencent, Zillow, and Walmart, redefining how brands engage and thrive in an ever-evolving digital world.
Take your content to new heights with Viral Nation.
Before we get to the interview with Rich, I want to start with the IAB came out with the 2025 Creator Economy Ad Spend and Strategy Report. Some top line sort of numbers. U.S. creator economy ad spend more than doubled from $13.9 billion in 2021 to $29.5 billion in 2024. The projected reach of $37 billion in 2025 is a 26% year-over-year increase, growing 4x faster than the broader media industry. And nearly half of ad spenders say that creators are now a must-buy channel, ranking just behind social media and paid search. Josh, what do you think about this?
Lauren, I love these reports because this just puts some numbers and some validation into what we all and everybody in this industry and everybody who's probably listening to this podcast is seeing, hearing, and feeling in this ecosystem. Some other big takeaways and notes here are in that $37 billion in 2025 US creator ad spend. That's composed of direct partnerships, so brands paying creators directly, paid amplification, so then that's brands boosting creator content on platform, and intentional ad adjacencies to creator content. So putting ads in and around creator programming. Brands are investing across all four spend types: direct, amplification, on and off social, and these adjacencies. In retail, they're spending $12.3 billion. In CPG brands, they're spending $5.5 billion. Those are the categories that led the most investments. And also, creator marketing is now viewed as a, quote, must-buy, end quote, channel by nearly half, 48% of brands, just behind social media and paid search. This is what David Cohen, CEO of IAB, said along with the report, quote, leveraging the creator economy to connect with audiences is no longer experimental for marketers. It's essential. The significant growth we're seeing reflects a deepening commitment from brands to invest in creator-driven strategies. However, with that maturity comes a need for clear standards, better measurement, and tools to navigate an incredibly fragmented ecosystem. I think just you and I have been in this for a while, seeing the evolution of this type of creator marketing go from this like cute experimental thing that happened very sporadically to now something that's always on for lots of brands is nothing short of amazing. And during previous ad downturns, you would see creator economy companies and specifically creator marketing companies kind of freak out.
Yeah.
Because they were the first line item to get cut in the marketing budgets.
Right.
Now, in more recent ad downturns or pullbacks, they're not anymore.
Right.
And I think that just shows, along with reports like this, the now cemented kind of state that creator marketing has in the general marketing ecosystem. And I mean, it only gets bigger, right? Nobody thinks this is going to decrease in the upcoming years. As other traditional marketing platforms lose the eyeballs that they once had and increase in costs, this becomes much more lucrative and palatable for all these brands that are in the space.
Yeah, well, I think the question I have here that I don't think that this sort of report really sort of addresses is like how many of these sort of brand deals are like bigger ongoing campaigns versus one-offs? Because I still think that that's the big transition that we're hopefully going to see, soon and happening is that like it's not just like come and do one thing and then go to the next. It's like creating holistic relationships with these creators and like really like and really like working with them for extended period of time, which will get you more bang for your buck, as opposed to thinking about just like dollar for dollar, how does this, spend translate into an ROI, whereas it's more holistic. And I think that these kinds of reports are really going to like help lead to that.
Yeah. And I think you bring up some of the pain points that marketers are seeing in this ecosystem. So the IB report said that the top goals for brands and marketers was brand awareness at 43%, reach at 41%, brand reputation at 35%, and online sales at 32%. However, ROI, return on investment, is the leading KPI, key performance indicator, for 40% of the brands that were included in the survey. That shows this like tension between the building brand awareness and the having to attribute all of these marketing dollars to actual sales. And I think when there's more technology that allows people to attribute creator marketing more directly to sales in a brand awareness capacity, it's easy if you're just doing performance marketing and you have a link. But there's also a lot that gets lost in the attribution, regardless of the type of marketing it is. So as influencer marketing agencies and people in this ecosystem can prove the ROI more and figure out different ways to attribute more of these sales to creators, I think that's going to unlock just insurmountable amounts of more budget.
Yeah. No, I'm sure.
And these findings are also not inconsistent with the report we put out at Gospel Stats for the YouTube 2025 sponsorship landscape report, which you can download at reports.gospelstats.com, which showed a 54% increase year over year in the first half of 2025 of the quantity of sponsored videos on YouTube. I mean, just more brands are getting interested in this space every day because they have to. And this is where the future is. Stoked to see reports like this that put some metrics behind it.
Okay, great. Let's get to our interview with Rich Bloom from Tubi. Rich Bloom, EVP and GM at Tubi, Creator Programs and Business Development. Welcome to Creator Upload.
Thanks for having me. I'm a big fan of the podcast. I'm excited to be here.
Good thing we only have fans on. So excited to hear that. So we want to dive right in. Tubi is doing so much with creators and fast. So you launched your sort of creator initiatives, I think back in June, but now you've got over 10,000 different episodes from creators from over 100 creators. So talk to me about what the pitch is to creators today.
Sure. Can I start by just giving a quick Tubi overview? Because
I would love that.
Plays into our approach. So
yes,
Tubi's been around for about 10 years. We are the second biggest AVOD platform after YouTube by most measures.
Wow.
We have over 100 million monthly active users. We stream over 1 billion hours a month. And we account for over 2% of TV viewing in the US across streaming, cable, broadcast. So we have really significant scale. And then our audience skews younger. Over half of our audience are millennial and Gen Z.
I mean, that's the dream. Yeah.
That is the dream.
Uh-huh.
And then a big part of our secret sauce is the breadth and depth of our library. So we have a library of about 300,000 movies and TV shows, which is actually the biggest library of any streaming service. And then what we're really good at is taking that huge library that's really diverse and then surfacing the right content to the right viewer. And while a lot of services are hit driven, we really talk about creating rabbit holes of fandom. So we're taking this huge library we have that's high quality and diverse and using our technology to create all these different rabbit holes that are like really eclectic and drive a lot of enthusiasm. So and one last thing about us is we're 95% video on demand, only about 5% linear. And that's really by design. We started as an on-demand platform. It creates an environment where it's really lean forward and intentional in what viewers are watching.
Yeah.
So all that makes the platform really appealing to advertisers, and it also creates a lot of interesting opportunities for creators. So we launched the creator program after seeing a lot of signals from our audience, which obviously being younger is more in tune with the creator economy. We had a couple of things pop last year. So the first thing was our most popular original of all time is this movie Sideline, which was an adaptation of a Wattpad novel starring Noah Beck, who's a big TikTok star. He's now like transitioned into acting with that movie. That movie was the most successful original of all time by almost every measure for us.
And you guys obviously sought out to cast a creator as I'm assuming some sort of experiment, because you guys were seeing the signals on the platform.
We were seeing signals. You know, we were hearing from our audience that they wanted more original IP, and that the number one place to get it was creators. And then with that movie, we saw there was this built-in audience from the Wattpad fans, and then this huge built-in audience that us and Noah did an amazing job of activating to drive to the platform. And then we had a program called Studios with Issa Rae.
Yes.
Last year also, where we had 2,000 creators apply to get a show greenlit and be the showrunner for it. And we had 4 of those go forward that were through a combination of fan voting and Tubi selection. And so all of this led to us saying there's a big opportunity here. And I joined in April, and we launched this program in June. And the idea behind it is we really want to take the approach that's worked for Tubi of having this, creating rabbit holes and having breadth of library. So
when you say rabbit holes, just to be clear, I mean, we all know what like going down rabbit holes sort of means, but like, can you just, what does that mean? What does that mean to Tubi? Like when you say that?
Yeah. So it means we're basically creating, when we talk about rabbit holes of fandom, so an example with creators could be, let's say in horror and paranormal, a viewer comes in to watch a video from Watcher, who is one of our launch partners. Then they watch a Tubi original, and then they watched a licensed movie that we have. And we're really good at just like presenting the right content that,
so it's like verticalized. You're going deep on a vertical, basically, for depending.
We're going deep on verticals, sub-verticals, but it's also things with our technology that aren't necessarily obvious. Of that,
well, I guess
viewers,
I mean just to be. I mean, just because I'm super interesting. I mean, I would argue most streaming platform. I mean, doesn't Netflix do this? I mean, not to bring up a competitor, you know what I mean? But like, I guess what is the differentiator, if I may?
I would say the differentiator for us is the scale and diversity of our library. So it is much bigger than other streaming platforms libraries. And then our technology is really strong at surfacing the right content to the right viewer.
Okay. And then just quickly, I want to talk a little bit about, you mentioned Studios. Tubi for Creators is effectively, as I understand it, licensing and distribution. And then you've got development deals. You did a deal with Heartbeat, Kevin Hart's some sort of company. So is that kind of the potential trajectory? I don't know if Studios is still going on. Like, could you start from a Studios creator and end up with a development deal? Like, how are you sort of seeing the life cycle, if there is one?
Yeah, so I would say Studios basically was the predecessor to us launching Tubi for Creators.
Got it.
And I realize I never answered your original question of what's our value proposition.
This is your show, Rich. I mean,
it's definitely not my show.
Don't worry about it.
So the initial value proposition, and when we launched it, was take your existing content that you're already creating and distributing to other places, a combination of your catalog content and new content you're already making, and distribute it to Tubi. And we're focused on long form content that's generally about 15 minutes or longer, with high production value and good storytelling across a variety of verticals. And so the value proposition for creators out of the gate, and really continuing for non-exclusive content, is we have this low friction way for you to expand your audience. About 32% of Tubi's audience is not on YouTube. And
that's a critical, I think let's double click on that for a minute. That's a big, that's 32% is a lot. So that's a big sort of upsell, if you will, like attractive sort of piece of putting your content on Tubi. That makes a lot of sense.
Considering the scale of YouTube, that is really significant.
Yes.
And then it's a way to make incremental revenue. And that's really resonated with creators, and we've been able to onboard a lot of creators with that value proposition. And then for us, the value proposition to our viewers was really, we want to get this content on the platform, see how it performs. And what we're seeing, and that's where I was like talking about the Watcher example, we're seeing again and again that viewers are watching this really interesting combination of creator content and traditional content. And viewers who start with creator content actually have better retention on Tubi than our typical viewers. They skew even younger than our already pretty young audience.
Yeah.
And then the last thing that's been really interesting is they start watching a majority of creator content, and over time they're watching a mix of creator content Hollywood movies and Hollywood TV series, which is frankly exactly what we wanted to see.
I mean, this is the big thing I'm
happen.
saying to a lot of folks these days is like, guess what? It's not traditional media and it's all just media. And you've got to play in all of the buckets of media as you always did. You always needed to, but people have finally like woken up that like this is a big piece of media, to your point, which I think is really interesting.
Yeah. And I think to viewers, especially younger viewers, we're looking at that distinction because we're launching this program and it's what we're focused on. For younger people, the distinction is becoming less and less meaningful. It's just content.
There's just content. Exactly. No, 100%.
And we're seeing that happen. And then in terms of exclusives, we started launching exclusives only about 2 weeks ago. And we have a few exclusives that are out now. One is from Kev on Stage, a show called Safe Space, which is this scripted, partly improvised show about couple counseling. That's hilarious. That's doing really well. The first one we launched is a series called Bloodsuckers Origin, which is a prequel to Bloodsuckers, which did really well on YouTube, from Rock Squad. And we're going to do a lot more. And the idea there is we want to bring our existing audience this mix of unique content. It's definitely is also a way for us to motivate existing fans of those creators to come back to Tubi or come to Tubi for the first time. And we're optimistic about that. And our value proposition there for creators is, as you know, a lot of creators are deficit financing their production. They can't get loans. There's a lot of different ways now that they're getting funding, which I know you're well aware of. And this is a way where we're basically paying them money upfront in order to fund production. And it's typically either something they're already creating on YouTube that they want to elevate, or a new project they want to make, and they want to avoid deficit financing it. And they also are eager to reach a new audience and get on a streaming platform. So the general tenets of what we're doing there are we're really giving creators complete creative freedom.
Yeah.
They tell us the idea, we greenlight it. They have a delivery date, they go make it. We don't give them any notes. And
you must have some restrictions. Obviously, it's got to be over a certain minute, whatever. Like, there's got to be something, right?
Yeah, it's not like here's money, just go make whatever you want. But they're basically telling us this is what I want to make.
Yeah.
With the description, this is the runtime in general, and we're signing off on it, and they're going to make it.
I have so many follow-up questions, but I have to, yeah.
And then the one other thing is they own they retain ownership of the IP. We're getting an exclusive window on it. We're working together on promoting it. And then at the end of that exclusive window, it'll stay on Tubi for a good amount of time, non-exclusively. But at that point, they can distribute it to other platforms.
Distribute it. So, okay, I have to let Josh talk, but I have so many follow-up questions. But this is fine. Go, Josh.
Rich, thank you so much for being here. This has been fascinating so far. I want to talk to you about the relationship with Fox. So Fox acquired Tubi several years ago. It's been seemingly a major success for them. Most notably, I think the big breakout Fox Tubi relationship moment was during last year's Super Bowl.
Yeah.
When Tubi became the record holder for the largest number of streams during the Super Bowl at like 13 million or so, and helped contribute to Fox's 800 plus million and change ad revenue for the big game. Is there an opportunity with creators on Tubi and Fox, or is the relationship with Fox and Tubi just relegated to kind of these big, huge tentpole mainstream media events?
No, there's definitely opportunities across Fox with creators in many circumstances that we're looking at. So we streamed the Super Bowl last year. This year we have a Thanksgiving game between Green Bay and Detroit that we're streaming on Tubi. We have Fox has rights to the World Cup that's coming up. So one opportunity is in sports, where some of the things we're talking to creators about are opportunities potentially, there's access we might have, there's potential to do things that might go across Fox. The best example of something that we're actually doing is we recently announced a new partnership with AudioChuck, who's the company behind Crime Junkie. It got announced a few weeks ago, and there's a deal that was really led by Red Seat Ventures who's really doing a lot in true crime now, where Red Sea Ventures will rep their inventory and handle their distribution, and then their video content will get distributed to Tubi. And in that case, the idea of being able to do a deal where AudioChuck could get representation on the audio side and then get distribution to a streaming platform was really a unique proposition. And there's certainly opportunities like that. And then I would just say overall, there's things we offer, like Tubi gets a significant amount of on-air promotion from Fox. And those are the type of unique opportunities that we will do with creators. That's definitely unique as being a part of the Fox family.
Creators love a broadcast television commercial and a billboard.
It's
so
true.
I can see that being a pretty good cherry on some of these deals.
Uh-huh.
So you've said it before, and people in your position have said it, that YouTube isn't a competitor; it's complementary. But if we're zooming out and just looking at programmatic ad spends, like, is that for real? Do you really believe that when you say that? Aren't you all competing for the same kind of programmatic ad budgets at the end of the day?
So what I would say is YouTube's not we in terms of our creator strategy, we're very conscious of, we can't make it a zero-sum game with YouTube. It needs to be something where what we're offering is really incremental and complementary, and we think about that with everything we do. In terms of Tubi in general, we're competing with every platform fighting for attention. And certainly every platform that's an advertising platform. So by that standard, yes, I mean, we're in competition with any ad-supported platform for advertising dollars. And broader than that, we're in competition with everything in the entertainment space across traditional entertainment, social, video games for people's attention. And we're certainly conscious of that.
I want to dive into something you said before about this rabbit hole. Do you have any specific kind of metrics or data you can share with the kinds of people that like start with creators and then end with regular traditional programming, or vice versa, start with traditional programming or end with creators? Or like, what's the average kind of watch session composed of?
So I can't really say an average watch session. I could, there's a few things, and I alluded to this a little bit before. So somebody who starts with creator content actually has a better retention rate with Tubi than general viewers. Someone who starts with creator content, their average view time is pretty similar to anyone's average view time, which was a really important thing for us to validate. And then somebody who starts with creator content, I can't give you exact percentages, but initially they watch more creator content than traditional content. Over time, that shifts, and they're watching a pretty interesting mix of creator content, traditional TV series, and traditional movies. And we see over time that mix, they watch more and more traditional content while still watching creator content. And then it kind of levels out to this pretty interesting mix of those three buckets. And that's really what we wanted to see. And that's really, again, I'm conscious of how many times I'm saying the term rabbit holes, but we do talk about it a lot. That's what
we love, like, a
of.
drinking game opportunity. So that's
Yes,
keep going.
perfect.
For anyone
Keep
listening
going.
to this,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
playing a
Sean.
drinking game.
Yes. In your car. Go on. Just
in
kidding.
your
Don't
car,
do that.
go with rabbit holes.
Don't do that.
So like that's what we're really pleased that's happening, right? And we think over time there might be some viewers who are really focused on, I'm coming to Tubi to watch this mix of exclusive and curated creator content. But ideally, we're really happy to have viewers watching a mix of all the content. And again, it goes back to the thesis of it's going to become a meaningless way to define content. Like, content is just content, and Hollywood and the creator economy are merging. And we want to be the platform that does the best job of taking this mix of content and delivering this this mix of it to viewers who want to see both things and don't really view them as two totally distinct types of experiences.
Do you think that's because the type of viewer that's going to come in and view creator content just hasn't been exposed to this Hollywood content in other formats? Like they're not turning on their linear television and channel surfing and then seeing whatever type of programming you normally would on linear TV. So the only way they're getting kind of exposed to this new library of programming is through initially going in for creators?
I don't think so. Like I understand what you're saying. I think it's more look, with 100 million monthly active users, there's a very large portion of people coming to Tubi for creator content who are reactivated, who maybe haven't been here in a while but have been here.
Yeah.
There's definitely, look, I think there's definitely some of Gen Z viewers coming in who come in for creator content and then might watch a movie that they've seen half of through clips on TikTok.
Yeah.
Which is how my teenage daughters start watching movies now. And then when they see it on streaming, they're like, oh, I should, maybe I'll watch this in the regular way.
Yeah.
Ew.
So, but I don't think we're introducing, I don't think somebody's come in and they've been like, oh, Hollywood. I think they know what TV.
That's
and
just
movie
Josh's
content
children
is.
because they only allows them to watch phones. Yeah, no.
It might be true. Look, maybe with Gen Alpha that is going to be even more extreme. But I do think in general, look, over half our audience is Gen Z and millennials. So we know that those viewers are watching TV. They're certainly not watching on cable. Almost 70% of our audience are cord cutters and a large percentage are cord nevers.
Wow.
And so they're not watching on cable. And there's definitely, especially among younger viewers, a lot of fatigue with paying for subscriptions. Yeah. And that's why Tubi has really become this great destination for younger audiences already to watch traditional Hollywood content. And I think what we're bringing them is more this mix of both that's really appealing to them.
This is so interesting. I know we're almost at time, but I just wanted to ask you quickly about library content. First of all, Escape the Night, Joey Graceffa, we've known him for years. Thrilled to see him back in the headlines, as it should be.
Yes.
So as I understand, you're sort of smartly putting those first several seasons of Escape to the Night on the platform. I know you did a deal with Mr. Beast, putting, I think, seasons 6 through 8 of one of his series on the platform. Is library content kind of also another pillar that you guys are? I mean, it sounds like there's so many buckets to this, you know?
Yeah, I mean, there's really two buckets, right? We started with library content and we're continuing to build that library, and that content does really well. And then we're now bringing in this exclusive content. And when we bring in exclusive content, in almost every instance, we also want to bring their library content.
Yeah,
right. So when
sense.
Somebody discovers the new season of Escape the Night, we want them to be able to watch the first 4 seasons. And then we want to go even deeper when somebody comes in and watches, like, through Heartbeat, we have Kanigra Dion's first movie coming out next year, for instance, right? Who's amazing with scripted content. She was also one of our launch partners for library content. So we look at it as we're creating these new fans of Kanigra on the platform. Then when her movie comes out, we're going to have people that have been exposed to her. And then when her movie comes out, we also expect new audience who will discover her. And we want them to, after watching it, I'm going to say rabbit hole again, to go down a rabbit hole of,
Had to get it in one more time. Yep.
6 different series from Kanigra because I love this. And that's, like, to us, that's really important. And that's also part of the value proposition for creators is we're not just looking to do these one-off things with creators. We really view it as partnerships, which, by the way, is also why we have a dedicated creator partnership team as opposed to it just living within content. We really view it as a true partnership.
Yeah, well, I think that's the piece of this that's so critical that I think many a platform that have come and gone have sort of missed the mark where it's been sort of one-offs. And I think, in generally speaking, there's a sort of movement right now, even on the brand deal side with creators, to stop thinking of as like one-off, do this. It's like, I've heard a lot of people being like, would you just have Michael Jordan wear your jersey or whatever, wear your sneakers for one game? No, you're going to have
Right.
him wear it for every game. The same with creators. Like, are you going to just put one episode, one season of Escape the Night? No, you want people to fall in love with it and then go back and find the previous seasons and do it. And so I think if I had to sort of zoom out and think about how you guys are thinking about this, I think just the sort of holistic, bigger, sort of partnership strategy is, if anything, going to be the success that the reason you're going to find success, because I feel like creators, if anything that they're seeking is like knowing that you're not going to it's not a one and done, right? I'm sure there's going to be some that come and go, but like generally speaking, the goal is to have like a holistic partnership with these folks, which I think is really exciting. And yeah, I love it. Rich, thank you so much for joining Creator Upload. Everybody go to Tubi and watch all the creator content.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for having me.
Rich, this was a blast. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Josh.
Thank you so much, Rich. I'm really excited to see what is successful on the platform and what they sort of lean into more, because I feel like they're kind of like, there's a lot going on, a lot of different kind of deals that they're doing. And it seems like a bit of a volume play, which I like speaks to their, what did he say, 300,000 or something, titles. There's a lot going on Tubi, and like I found it really interesting too, just like how what did they say, they make up about 2% of like total view time for
On televisions, on streaming,
television. Yeah. So this is legit stuff. So very excited to see how this the creator initiative sort of evolve.
And Lauren, I will say, I do think there is something to my idea that people don't know about Hollywood and then are going on Tubi for creators and then discovering Hollywood.
Yeah,
Again, from personal experience, my kids,
it's not a thing.
It's totally a thing.
I mean, it's a thing when you're like a little teeny child and you're like, what is a movie? And like
when you're like 10 years old.
Your kids don't know what a movie is.
They know what a movie is, but we just got a digital antenna bunny ears, which I love.
I know, you're obsessed. You're very proud of yourself.
So my kids will channel surf sometimes. They saw Star Trek: The Next Generation for the first time the other day. And they're like, what is this?
I understand that they're watching content that they've never seen before, but it's not like they don't know that like TV shows exist.
They didn't know Star Trek: The Next Generation existed before they discovered it.
I understand that. Okay. All right. Well,
what I'm saying is two things. One, I'm right, and I will be proven out so in the data moving forward. And two, I'm stoked for both of us that we got through that whole interview without one Hamlet reference.
Hamlet? Why would we have a Hamlet reference?
Because Tubi.
Oh, I didn't know it was Tubi from Hamlet. I actually didn't know that. I thought it was Tubi like TV show.
Totally. But everybody who does interviews about Tubi or writes headlines about Tubi always tries to shove in the Hamlet reference.
What is the Hamlet reference? I don't know what it is.
To be or not to be, Lauren?
Oh, to be or not to be? That is so stupid. Oh my God. I'm like, what the fuck is he talking about? To be or not to? That is not. Okay.
Look it up.
Sorry.
I'm
familiar
with reporters do it.
Then they need to work up their game. That is so lame. Oh my God, I'm embarrassed with reporters that do that. I'm embarrassed for the world right now. All right, are we done with that? Okay, so we're moving on. Okay, I want to get to uploads, downloads. First upload is Slow Ventures made an investment into Taylor Cannon. She received $1.1 million from the venture fund. Just as a reminder, Slow Ventures, their whole sort of thesis is around making investments in creators who sort of use the content to build businesses. So they're really business builders that they're able to use video, social, whatever to build their business. And so this is really interesting. So she was a sufferer of chronic back pain and she started working on it and using like physiotherapy. And it kind of just never really, really worked for her. So she moved on to these other sort of models for this. And she basically started talking about this, and she gained like about 130,000 followers on Instagram, which relatively speaking is not that huge. But then she started a company called Athletic Rebuild, which provides rehab and performance coaching for athletes. And now she's starting a platform called Rebuilder, which is a HIPAA compliant and mentorship app to help rehab professionals run their own business online, and it's supposed to launch next year. So she basically said that she had no plans of actually, starting a business. When she started, sharing her thoughts, she said there was no strategy, no roadmap, and certainly no business model behind it. And she just remained authentic and did her thing. And she sort of built this business. And, now she's getting this sort of influx of cash to sort of help grow it and start this platform and grow it. And, she said, I couldn't keep scaling something that depended solely on me. I had to build something that could grow without me. And so, yeah, they're investing in her. I think it's really interesting. I mean, the thesis that they have at Slow Ventures is very, very specific, and they've been finding some very interesting creators to invest in.
As someone who recently had to navigate the PT experience here in northern New Jersey, I tore my plantar fascia over the summer.
Oh,
I'm okay, everybody.
I'm so interested in that.
I can
That's your
totally.
foot, right? That's your foot, right?
Yeah, it's the bottom of
Okay.
your foot.
Yeah.
Lauren, you're of a certain age. You know what the plantar fascia is. And
My
so
grandma heard her she would talk about her metatarsal, I think is what it's called. The metatarsal. Like she was talking about that. Remember the metatarsal. Go on.
So
Mhm.
I can totally see how this area is ripe for disruption.
Sure.
Please
Well,
give me
okay.
some better PT, something, anything.
So my whole situation, I had the frozen shoulder like last year, and I didn't know what it was. And it's you first figure it out because you try to put your coat on like in the winter, and it kills every time you're like reaching back in that way you would put a coat on. And I finally go in and I like all the things. And so I was doing PT. You know what my problem with PT is? These people want to talk. They wanna
Yeah.
talk, and, like, as a
Yeah.
mother, I never get, like I don't really get and I work, I don't get a lot of time to myself, and they doing, like, basically, like, massage, and so you kind of can pretend that you're getting a massage. You know what I don't wanna do during a massage? Talk.
Maybe through this new innovative technology, you'll be able to request like no talking
No
PT
talking.
therapist like
No
you would with an
talking.
Uber. Yeah. You
Yeah,
can do a
no.
climate setting and the
0. I'm
amount of
fine. Talking in an
discussion.
Uber, I can deal with. Talking during a massage when you're like and I'm like, "Can I just zone out and, like, not talk to you at all?" That's my big complaint with my PT.
Fascinating for anyone who
Yeah.
listens to my podcast.
Yes.
Fascinating to learn this fact about Lauren. There's an environment in which she does not want to talk.
Okay, Josh, you have any uploads or downloads?
Yes, I do, Lauren. Agentio just raised $40 million to build the, quote, infrastructure, end quote, that powers the creator marketing industry. So Agentio was founded in 2023 after a $4.25 million seed round by
Mhm.
Arthur Leopold, who was formerly at Cameo, and
Mhm.
Jonathan Myers, who was formerly at Spotify. They
Mhm.
landed the $12 million Series A last year. And the Series B, which accounts for Agentio's five-fold growth since its last round, brings the company's total funding up to $56 million at a $340 million valuation. So what are they doing? Well, Agentio is working with a network of, quote, many thousand, end quote, of creators and playing matchmaker between forward-thinking brands and social media stars who can boost those sponsors' messages.
Mhm.
As a result of that process, brands like Uber, DoorDash, Cash App, and Bombas have allocated what Agentio says is tens of millions of marketing dollars to the platform. And this is what Arthur Leopold had to say about it. Quote, advertising follows attention and attention has moved to creators. The shift is already happening. Brands are moving billions into creator-led marketing. What's been missing is infrastructure that lets brands scale creator programs the way they can for search and paid social campaigns and making creators part of their media plan. We've built that infrastructure. Brands can now build creator programs on Agentio that run at the scale of their paid media budgets, end quote. The whole thesis here is not new. Pairing creators with brands. What is new about Agentio is they say that they can do it in a much more efficient way where you could scale up from, let's say, $10,000 a month in marketing to in creators on YouTube up to $1 million a month and not have to hire 10x the amount of people in order to do that. Basically,
Right.
keep the same team regardless of your spend. The same way you would kind of do that if you were buying paid search or social posts.
Right.
They seemingly have been able to do a great job of this so far. I honestly hope that they continue because by creating an easier way for brands to inject money into this ecosystem, it's going to allow brands to inject more money into this ecosystem and also get more brands on board. Like Bomba, as I mentioned, who's been one of their big clients for the past several years, I don't know if they would be as invested in this creator space if it wasn't for their ability to deploy this capital through a platform like Agentio. So I think it's cool. I'm here for it. I'm excited to see what other brands they're able to bring on board.
Yeah, I mean, I think the big problem with brands consistently is just, like, knowing who to put their money behind, knowing how to spend. Like, that's consistently a problem. It's not gonna go away anytime soon, and so anything that helps brands kind of, like, figure that out better and faster is gonna allow them to, spend more money. Alright, Josh, we did it.
Lauren, I think that's it. I'll see you brushing up on some new for you classics like, I don't know, King Lear, The Tempest, Much Ado About Nothing, Othello.
I mean, Tubi or not. I mean, that is the dumbest. Tubi. It's because of the boob tube. It's because of television.
And if not there next week,
No, not next
Creator
week.
Upload.
In 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks on Creator
Thanksgiving.
Upload. Have a great Thanksgiving, everybody.
Goodbye.
See you soon. Today's show was produced by Lauren Schnipper, Joshua Cohen, that's me, and Adam Connor. It's edited by Adam Connor too. Original music is by London Bridge. You can check him out on Instagram at London Bridge Music. Make sure you subscribe to Creator Upload right here on YouTube, on Apple Podcasts, as well Spotify, or wherever you're listening. While you're there, give us a rating and leave us a comment. If you want to talk, hit us up at info@creatorupload.com. If you like our show, recommend it to a friend. If you love it, just tell everyone. Thanks for listening to Creator Upload, and we will be back next week.